So I have got this for one of me like customers kind of cars. Alright, so some gaskets. It's fucking packaged quite well. It's quite a heavy unit, as you'd expect. Far out. It actually feels really good. It's honestly heaps better than I thought it was going to be, eh? Do you reckon they just like do purple dots on everything to make it? Nah, see, that must be the tightness of the bolts, I guess. Oh, do you know what it's for? For warranty. So they can see if someone's pulled it apart. I can't seem to work it out. But if the wastegate's there, and like the turbine's there, and there's no hole for the wastegate in the exhaust housing, where does it actually bypass to? Like, is this even the right? Did they like put a fucking external gate rear on it? I'm so confused right now. So this turbo is really tripping me out. There's no hole for the wastegate in there. Yeah? Alright. Now, you got the wastegate here, which goes down to this shaft I put a red dot on. But when you open the wastegate, nothing happens. The red dot does not move. That shaft stays in the same. So there's no flapper. And even if there is, it's before the wheel, so it's not bypassing the turbine wheel. And nothing is even opening. It's a fake wastegate. What the fuck? These guys selling fake turbos, fake wastegates. Nice. New turbo for the iLoad skins. So it's pretty much identical. It is identical. The fucking Max Peding rods replacement turbo. It's fully fucking identical. Like flawless. So have to remove the studs to get the turbo out. The fucking drama I was having was I couldn't get them out, so I'm gonna have to change all the studs. But these ones we put in last. Like we put the turbo on the car, then put one stud in. One of them, you know, not that one. It's a good thing I actually cleaned this bench up. have somewhere to fucking work now. Can actually start doing stuff. Switching the studs for the exhaust to bolt on. This is number 2, max speeding rod turb skins. This one's going on a fucking Subaru. Oh, this one's a bit fucking bigger, eh? Like, this one looks heaps better than the iLoad one. Subaru Turbo. Max speeding rod, fuck, look at that. Providing the goods. So I fully built the turbo. Not really built it, I just like put some stuff on it. But it bolted up all the lines. Now, with this iLoad turbo, there's a trick to getting it on and off. It's going to make it a bit easier for yourself. So the studs, you don't need to screw them in like up heaps tight, because then you'll never get them out. You screw studs in by hand pretty much most of the time. So this one here, which is the one closest to the firewall, we're going to put in first, because you can actually get the turbo on and off with the fucking stud still in, just one of them. Plus, it's going to make it 10 times easier to try and put the turbo on and hold the gasket in place. So this is the tip for this iLoad D4CB. Alright, so there definitely is a difference. The turbo is not identical, because I've just double checked. This wastegate actually is actuating a flapper. Double check. There is no, so like that part is correct in regards to there being no fucking flapper on the back of this turbo. But this one, as you can see, it's heaps easier to spin, but I've come to the conclusion there could be a shaft in a shaft, and there could be one that's actually fastened. Can't really see it in there, but so yeah, I believe that there's a shaft in a shaft, because that is not spinning externally, so there has to be one inside. Otherwise, the wastegate doesn't even do anything. So I'm just guessing that's how it's designed, because it's a little bit different. And otherwise, like, surely what's the point of putting a wastegate on if it doesn't do anything? So they'll be out of business if it didn't work. So I'm gonna nip up some nuts on here, because I forgot you had to take the studs out. So I started not really taking off, just loosened some of the nuts on the manifold to try and get the turbo past the oil cooler down there. But you had to take the studs out. Lol. So we got this gasket here. This is a mount, like a bracket, and that's your oil drain, right? There's 2 bolts, like your oil drain hose goes into the brace for your fucking turbo, with a gasket that bolts on the side of your block, and that bolts and supports your turbo. Man, Hyundai, like, it's not that bad to work on either. It's pretty set up pretty well. It's got studs and shit. I haven't got the gasket, so we're gonna fucking RTV it, no dramas. But no, it's interesting, very interesting. Hyundai are actually quite good. These iLoad vans, I rate them, man. I swear this turbo has been replaced before. That's something I noticed. Because there's like little traits, like that turbo doesn't look like a genuine fucking Hyundai. And this is a gasket, obviously, and there's another one on the engine, so there's two gaskets there. So someone's like, the one on the engine's not that bad, so that's why I put the RTV, and they'll match up with that real nice. And then this one I'm taking off because, you know, I thought it was just a remnants, but it's a whole ass gasket. So there's two, maybe three of them on the motor. So make sure you fucking clean gaskets off. Don't be like this guy. So one of the studs I can't like just tighten up by hand. Like I can, but it's poking out an extra 2 or 3 mil than the other stud. So I'm just gonna do a 360-degree turn with my soft jaw multi-groups. It's got little plastic adapters on the end. Quite cool, eh? Now you don't do it too tight because it'd be very hard to get the studs out later on.
New South Wales residents are being urged to
New
hold
turbo.
the line as the state reaches a milestone of 80% of the eligible population vaccinated with 1 dose of a COVID vaccine.
Gonna change that to a screw worm drive clamp to the spring clamp. It's not a great spot for a spring clamp and pliers. So it's night time, and we're actually driving the van past the dude's like house. Boy, I don't know if he still lives there, but anyway, the turbo is working quite well. Goes pretty good, spools up nice. Whoa, some dude's coming out of that driveway. Goes alright, eh? These eye loads aren't too bad. Not too shabby. Cruising to the fucking area code. With the new turbo installed. Only took me fucking like, what? A lot of hours. I fucking would have been on it like at least 5 hours today. But I was like, you know, going quite slow. Is that dude fucking for real, man? What are you doing, bro? What a tripper. Just pulling out in front of cars and shit. Alright, so there's some weird sound going on now. What the fuck is that? Screaming has seemed to have gone away. So yeah, I guess that's successful. Max speeding Rods turbo works very well, and I would honestly install one on my own car. That's why I installed one on a customer's car. Like, I'm not just a cunt that's like, because do you know what, I fucking fitted one of these turbos onto a at actual work, and then like for like another company, and I asked them, I was like, hey, is this would you get a China turbo? And like laughed, and they're like, nah, this is an Australian turbo we spent $700 on. And they handed me a Max Speeding Rods turbo identical, and well, I knew straight away because I'm very familiar with Max Speeding Rods. So don't be conned. A lot of fucking people will resell, like your auto parts shop, you want to go buy a turbo, you think you just go to them because you think it'd be better than China. But where do you think they get them in? They get them from China. So you may as well just be the smart guy and buy them like straight from the fucking manufacturer, Max Speeding Rods, because there's probably like thousands of other companies that just resell Max Speeding Rods. So I'm actually gonna buy one now for the R31. Like, I already was gonna buy one, but this now off the money from this, when I get my turbo money back, we're gonna, you know, have some fun. This turbo that was on it is full roofless. Is fucking, it's coloured, you could say, this one. Fucking hell. Look at this. Relentless. Oh, wrong hole. Whoops, that's just the air in. Not really too sure what this stuff is. Put this in there. Take off this front. Look at the shaft plate. We'll get the bolts out. Nasty. Sounds like your fucking Mrs. Bed frame when you're in there giving it to her. I swear. That's even touching the fucking wall. Shit, son. A bit of the turbine wheel is actually missing. What the fuck? Oh, so I was right in changing this turbo, you could say. Definitely diagnosed the leaking front bumper. Fuck. So I'm guessing that is from hitting the wall at high speeds, which it looks like it fucking has, and just chipped off the corner. And then that's flung around, probably hit that, and ding 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 ding. Pinball.